It was a missed double-a-thon.
Thank you. First leg,
Van den Bergh has finished more legs in 12 darts or less than Anderson and Van Gerwen combined after 11 matches. That basically says he's very good. We knew that. But Gary Anderson last night proved that he's still got it. He's still got what it takes. He's still got that ability to beat the world's best. If he plays like that again, Dimitri will be in for a rough night. Well, they've started off a bit edgy. They really need to find their form.
Everything seems a bit tense on that stage. And Dimitri playing with a massive smile and just finding the bed so easily. And I think that's when you find that confidence zone, that flow state, and just anything that leaves his hand expects it to be 3 in the bed.
Yeah, Dimitri is having the time of his life, and like Emma said, he's just enjoying life, and so he should be. The 26-year-old Belgian moved over to the UK to take his darts to another level.
56.
He's the world match play champion, and things really couldn't be going any better.
100. Dimitri, you
in that world match play final, beat Gary Anderson by 18 legs to 10. But you kind of feel this game is about Gary. If he performs like he did last evening, we're not going to see a big fish. Then we shall see what Dimitri can do about it. But if he has an off day, you've got to fancy Dimmy.
So true, and like you say, it could just, Gary's going to need to win this game and stay in touching distance once we move into the last phase of it, just to give himself a play of hope. I mean, he's always been in the playoffs. As we see Dimitri there finishing 72 2 darts. And this game has started quite nicely, though. I thought it was going to be quite tense.
We know Gary, he likes people to play at his pace, and he's got that this evening. When they don't play at his pace, he hates it. He's made that known. But there has been a marked tail off. Gary Anderson's career Premier League average is just over 99, and in this he's averaging 96. That is some dip. But the thing is, with him, we know that he can do special things, and maybe, just maybe, this is going to be one of those special things. He wants 141 for a 9. Oh dear.
95.
Gary Anderson there, just giving us, or showing us a bit of something that we haven't seen in this Premier League, is the back-to-back 180s and just dominating or pushing from the start. I mean, it's been a slow start for him, and you see him here going for his favourite tops in 2. It's a pop finish for the second leg as well.
Dimitri to throw first.
Gary Anderson looking in the mood, and the crazy averages. I know that it's only 3rd leg, but Dimitri Van den Bergh averaging now, after this last start, at 126, and Gary Anderson 116.
But we've already seen ridiculous figures. James Wade averaged 110 and got beat 8-5. It was the 4th highest losing average in Premier League history, which is just, it's insane. Phil Taylor holds the record that you don't want. He lost to Barney with 115.80.
How do you lose?
I don't know. I commentated on the game, and I still don't know what happened.
91.
But this right now is an absolute worldie.
I think that if there was any doubts about Gary Anderson's previous form, and if he can replicate last night's form again tonight, he's surely showing like it's a different side. I mean, the 42-1 probably works in his favour now, and he's a bit more angry now.
90.
Yeah, but he's got to keep it going. It's sort of 2 and a bit legs. But Gary has said himself that he hasn't applied himself that well. He doesn't practice as much as he should. His words.
134.
He's been working on a fishery. 16 hours a day that he purchased.
80.
And maybe darts is not the be-all and end-all for him.
I'm not saying that his career is over, but he has a trophy-littered career, and certainly that back-to-back world champion. He is a small group of people that have that.
It was a good aggressive dart.
98. Dimitri, you require 40.
Dimitri just taking his time, getting ready. That is so clinical, so good. And do you know what it is, Dev? It's so simple.
It's when you're confident, when you know that mixture, and you pick him out from the start to be the star of the show. And like you said as well, he's just better than everybody more often. And you see it there in moments like that, where Gary Anderson set up, and as we see him throw another maximum, which is the third of the match so far for Dimitri. But like you said, I mean, he's just showing so much experience, and he's still a debutant of this tournament.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting that the 9-darter is going to go this leg, but this match already, with the amount of 180s so far and just the way that they're grouping, it's got a 9 feel about it. There's 180s consecutive. You think they're going to happen. You really do. I'm slightly excited here.
You feel like the match is coming to a bit of a boil, not even a simmer, more like a boil.
Keeps hitting that top wire. Gary will be in trouble.
140.
Into leg 4 now, and we've already seen 5 180s. It's 6 180s so far, 3 apiece for the players. And I think that coming into this game, you thought that Gary Anderson was probably going to roll over, but it's not the case.
Bullseye. It's just about replicating yesterday, a similar standard to yesterday, which he hadn't done. And so far, so good. Tops.
Game shown the
2-2.
Gary
Anderson averaging 105, Dimitri van den Bergh 113. What a way to end a night, and what a way to end this batch of Premier League nights. We then
51.
Have 2 weeks off, come back on the 24th, where we play 4 nights of league phase darts, and ends in a crescendo 57. On the 28th, when it's Cup Collection Day.
It's payday. It's going to be an amazing... I think the way in which the next phase, I mean, a lot of these players will be looking at the table and thinking they still have a chance, because obviously it's not sewn up. A lot of players 94. Are in better positions than others, but the crowds come back and then it changes the dynamic.
I think it's really important that Gary doesn't lose this game.
100.
Otherwise, just too many players with too many points above him. It will feel like an improbable task.
He'll be taken out of his hands, basically, and not have it all in his control. So even if he wins all his games, it's not going to be up to him. A thing that Dimitri's definitely improved on is his B game, though. When he's not at it, like, his A game is a wow game, and his B game is a lot of people's A game these days.
It's brilliant.
That's why it's the B game. It's the
133.
It was good cover shooting, these 1-2-6. For Gary Anderson, just about to say if he could hit a 180 or 140. He shouldn't have stayed there with the last dart, but he got away with it. Because if he'd have missed, it would have left 163. For a 3-2 lead, is he going to leave the ball or double 6? Bullseye.
101. We require 123.
Dimitri gives an opportunity here for Gary Anderson to break the Dimitri van den Bergh throw. He's going to need, and now he wants double 9.
Game
Gary Anderson, 100% on the checkout, and punishing Dimitri van den Bergh's missed ball opportunity there. Gary Anderson's up for it, though.
When he plays bad, when he's playing like this, it's unbelievable to think that he's ever going to play bad. Where do these poor performances come from? Staggering from Gary Anderson.
But to have that kind of opportunity and potential to, or ability just to switch it on when you actually need it. I mean, maybe he was just jogging along with the league and now he thinks, okay, cool, let me just sprint a bit and sprint to Cup Day, Cup night.
Yeah, I might start trying now.
57.
It certainly seems that he's got the bit between his teeth. He's got this aggression in his game that it's been lacking for a while.
140.
To produce like he did last evening, that was an outlier. It wasn't what he'd been doing. Like we said, it'd been over 40 games since he'd produced those kind of numbers, and he's doing similar again. So credit to him.
Gary is back. Or is it too soon?
It's a game and a bit. Come on now.
93.
It's fantastic to see Gary Anderson play so well. I mean, it's one of those leagues where you see so many of the young players and the new era playing well, and then the old guard, and we call him the old guard because Gary's been here for a while.
Yeah.
To not kind of compete and give them a run for their money in a sense, and this is what you want to see. This is what people expect Gary Anderson to play. And when you gave that stat about the 40+ games that he's not playing well in, it's a shock.
He'll love that. Double 13. Majestic from Gary Anderson. Took out 123 in the previous leg. Followed it up with a 1-4-6 finish. Dimitri van den Bergh averaging 109. He's losing 4-2. Remember, just a couple of evenings ago, he lost with 106 average against Michael van Gerwen. The Premier League is a tough place. It's a tough school.
You would know.
You didn't have to average 106 to beat me, I assure you.
Yeah, it's different quality, different gravy, and these players, it's the last match of this phase as well, and the evening, and it's serving it up here for all of us to witness.
Yeah, Gary may be in a rush to get on the motorway. Being played at a great pace, the accuracy is magnificent. Everything about the game
96.
good to watch. And we are seeing a champ from yesteryear and still capable of winning now, but we're also seeing the now and the future in Dimitri van den Bergh. It's Gary Anderson, it's his 4th maximum, leaves 81 after just 9 darts.
100. Gary, you require 81.
Gary Anderson now with another opportunity to break. And will it be another pop-pop finish? Double 6.
Game shot
and he gets the 81 with another breaking. Dimitri just with a little smirk as in, oh, well done. But the game is played at a high standard. Dimitri not doing too much wrong. Gary Anderson just in a majestic form.
Dimitri van den Bergh led 2-1. He's lost the last 4 legs, not because of his poor play, but because of that man's brilliance, Gary's brilliance. There we see, what a night for Michael van Gerwen. Finds himself top of the table. Gary could do himself a world of good 93. Here. Yes, he would only move up 1 spot, but he would grab those 2 points and he'd be biting on the heels of those in the playoffs places. All change.
And I think they would also know that the players that are on top, they also know that Gary's finding his form now, and then it becomes that little thing like, oh, you can see him. It's like a train then. You see the light as we see Gary Anderson throw 180, number 5, and so far 8 for the match. The steam train is coming. The Flying Scotsman's on his way.
95.
Gary left 168, but couldn't help that. It's throwing beautifully. The darts are entering the board the same every single time. That means a consistent release. Dimmy is feeling it.
Gary, you require 28. Game shot in the 8th
Gary Anderson goes within one
ninth leg,
more leg,
Dimitri to
and
throw
he'll
first.
guarantee himself
Game
a
on.
point, and an important point as well. I think coming into this match, Dimitri van den Bergh playing so well as he did, it would have seemed as though Gary Anderson had a small
43.
chance of winning.
Yeah. Well, he was the odds-on favourite, Dimitri van den Bergh, and for good reason. Tournament doubling stats for Gary Anderson, 38%. They were 36. In this match, 86%. He's only missed one dart at a double. He's been simply brilliant. And there we see the last 4 legs. It's all right.
He's just looking in that mood. Everything is just working so smoothly. It's great to see, though, not just because obviously, as an opponent, you like Dimitri will be yearning that every time Raspberry screaming out 140. It's 2 every single time in the bid. That pressure gets to you.
Gary's scoring well and finishing well. Normally, and I say normally, his Achilles heel has always been doubling. And he's a proven winner when the doubles go in. Dimitri cannot afford to get broken again here. That is a poor last start. There's a little bit of panic now. Well, we know he can do this. He'll just hit another 60, won't he? No. He fancied it.
110.
Perfect setup, yeah, but Dimitri van den Bergh, you feel as though the 110 has to go. Gary Anderson will probably not miss. He's got 2 more darts. 1 for double 16.
78. Gary, you require 36.
For 7-2. And I'm not going to say for a point because Gary Anderson is clearly looking for 2 here, averaging 108.12 in what has been clinical, what has been focused, what has been a performance that would have been kind of unlikely to have been beaten by anyone this evening. And that includes Michael van Gerwen, who played to 107 average.
I think it's one of those games where the result, Dimitri's going to just have to kind of just take it as it is.
You have to just swallow it. That's what you have to do. When he lost to Michael, like we already said,
16.
You just have to kind of get on with the game, and there's not a lot you can do. He's averaging 103. He hasn't played poorly.
Just tip the cap and just go, that's what.
140.
But he's not giving up, though. I mean, we've seen as though, I mean, Dimitri just constantly killing that treble 20. Gary Anderson here in fine form and finds himself within 3 darts of 2 points.
Every leg counts, so if Dimitri can make a mini rally, and he'd like to do so. Well, not sure if that dart is covering the bullseye. Yes, it is, so he will not be going for the ball.
65.
Yes, he will go for the ball.
Dimitri, you require 130.
Trying to read the mind of Gary Anderson. That's never going to work.
It's like reading the mind of Jose de Souza is the same thing. Gary does what he wants, but for the bullseye.
Game shot in the 10th leg.
Dimitri van den Bergh will not roll over.
The 11th
The man's
leg,
been in
Dimitri
form in the Premier League, and that
Game
132 is it's a game saver. Could it be a game changer?
If Gary wins this leg, no. Look, it's a leg, and I'm not kind of trivialising the fact that it's a leg, but who knows what that extra leg does at the end of the table. We don't know right
55.
now, but it was a brilliant finish when he needed it. Because Gary's, I was just about to say he's not relenting, but that's a bad visit from him, and the worst I can think of in this match for him.
100.
I think they're just giving Russ Bray an opportunity to catch his breath, actually.
97.
Gravel-voiced Russ Bray. There he is. A great stat about Russ Bray. He's a bang average golfer, let me tell you.
140.
He can't defend himself. Stop it.
Dimitri.
97.
Wants 161 after 9.
161.
Is he going to just set this up nicely, or does he fancy popping it?
65.
It's good board management there and allowing him an opportunity, but Gary Anderson, we know that he's been in full force, and that sits nicely. And I was expecting a 180 there, but
100.
So was he.
That's
a bad ton though at this time for him.
Dimitri loves double 18. Is he going to go for a big 20 to leave double 18?
60.
Had to be careful about his work there, and was.
152.
Well, he's already taken out a 1-2-3 and a 1-4-6. Ah, what about this? What about this? 1-5-2.
136. Victory you require 36.
And the opportunity stays. It keeps Dimitri alive, and he got 36 left. 2 in hand. Last dart, big dart for the match.
Game shot.
Saves himself with the last dart finder. And like we said earlier, the comeback has to start from someplace, and the 1-3-2 might have been that place. And Gary Anderson just shuts the door then.
The pressure was on that 1-3-2, and the pressure was certainly on that last dart at double 18. Held himself together well.
100.
But Gary Anderson, and a leg that he just wants to wrap up, starts with a max. He's been on for a 9 already in this match.
140.
I got to say, I'm disgusted at him.
You did say it felt like a 9-dart kind of match.
The first 2 were perfect for him. They were in the right side of the treble. They were high in the treble. All he had to do was just stand there and throw.
34.
Just stand there. Just stand. Fantastic. Finding that treble with ease, and definitely steam training himself to 2 points, and 89. A valuable 2 points.
It's never a surprise when Gary Anderson wins a game of darts. There'd be many that felt that this man would win, and maybe comfortably. He's not played badly, but Gary Anderson's just having none of it this evening. 36 for 36. I expect this to go in. I expected it to go in, and it did go in. And look